If you are mad about that Shiloh woman profiting off of calling that young black child the N-word, watch this video and I'll be right back.
I started searching and trying to figure out how can I find this funding source.
This is absolutely amazing, and we got to make sure to blow this creator up. So as we all know, Shiloh Hendrix has raised over $650,000, on her way to $1 million. Give, Send, Go doesn't really care. People have tried to report it, doesn't matter. But this creator used her coding skills to dig into the HTML and JavaScript.
They are not the bank. So I thought, like, we got to find a bank. Most banks, especially payment processors, they will cut that shit off with any type of doubt or controversy. They'll usually just cut it off, right? I went and I broke down the code on Give, Send, Go's checkout page line for line. And there were keywords I wanted to look for, right? And I found the keyword Block Inc., right? That's familiar, right?
And Block Inc. owns Square, which has very big policies against hate-filled and discriminatory fundraising. So Keandria, I hope I'm saying that right, launched a coordinated campaign to flood with complaints, crashing the support bot of Block Inc. and dropping the stock over 24.5% after it crashed. Coders started volunteering to join in and monitor the actual processing, and what you saw is they tried to switch it over to Stripe. She's urging people to file complaints with the FTC and the CFPB. It's only going to help increase the chance of a paper trail and holding platforms like this accountable. Also, side note, she does mention that she is receiving death threats, but to go ahead and tag her in this information. So if you are a white creator particularly, tag the original creator. You can file a complaint with Square or Block, you can email Square directly, you can report to the federal agencies, and then obviously file and tag the original creator that had this idea. And if you're wondering what the end goal is here, I'll let her finish it out.
I'll tell you about this payment processor and their so-called policy. Now, Square and Block Inc. have a policy that details that not only do they have the right to pause your payouts, but they have a right to hold the funds indefinitely. If they find that you violated their policy or if they stop payment for any reason, they have the right to hold that money to protect them from disputes. So we're hoping that they hold the payout and those assholes never get refunds.
Oh, I love me some black women. I love me some black women. Let's go. This is what I need you guys to do. I need you guys to like, comment more than 5 words, save, share, copy link, tag your favorite creators, and let's go. We can't just talk about it, we gotta be about it. Let's go. We are going to use every tool that we can to show that being racist should not be profitable. I put both creators' videos here in the description. Please go to their page, go boost their videos, and let's go. Share every fucking where, okay? Because when I check the views on the videos, not enough views. Let's go. Let's go. And then go, do all this stuff here, and then check out the 2 creators. Let's go. I want to see at least 500 shares, and I need to see a plethora of comments. Let's go. Let's go. Call to action. We can't just talk about it. We gotta be about it.
I'm not sure how many of you guys saw my last video, but finally, we have heard directly from Shiloh Hendrix. She put out a couple of little statements along the way, but she released like a 4 or 5 minute video just addressing the situation and addressing everyone who has donated to her Give, Send, Go. But what is very hilarious to me, and I can't stop laughing about it, Karmelo Anthony supporters, to this day, they're still freaking out about Shiloh Hendrix. Most people have kind of moved on. They're still harping over it. And to this day, they still believe that they took Shiloh down. They're still trying to explore avenues to stop Shiloh from getting her money. Meanwhile, Shiloh already got her money. She's in the process of, she's going to be buying a new house soon. Meanwhile, as you can see, Karmelo supporters are still all up in a whirlwind trying to figure out how they're going to stop her from getting the money, but it's too late. And literally, just as of a few days ago, they're still putting out these articles, these news articles, and Essence Magazine. Literally, Essence Magazine had an article like 5 days ago talking about this young, successful, techie black woman that took down Shiloh and how she's standing up against Shiloh and all of these donation platforms. And it's so crazy because none of it is true. These people are so upset that Shiloh is getting this money, and they know there's nothing they can do to stop it. So instead of accepting that, they're spreading lies as if they did stop it. And they're all trying to accredit this one black woman like, oh, she's the lady that took down Shiloh, but it never happened. But we see stuff like this all the time coming from these Carmelo Anthony supporters. They always try to take credit for things they never did. They try to take credit for certain inventions and, oh, we was this, we was that. We took Shiloh down. It was this strong black woman. They're trying to literally rewrite history as it's happening. But meanwhile, Shiloh already has access to the money. And it's just like I was telling you guys about a week or so ago. This reminds me of wartime propaganda. Like even when your side is losing, even when your army is losing, you put out propaganda to pretend like you're winning, to keep the morale high. That's kind of what they're doing right now. They want everyone to think, oh my God, we took down Shiloh, when in reality, Shiloh is about to buy a home that none of us can afford. But overall, I was disappointed because she did not really dive into deep about what actually happened that day. And I would like to hear from Shiloh about what happened that day, because the only person that we've really heard from that gave their version of events was that weird Somalian who got charged with doing things with underage girls. That's the only person who we really got a story from. We never heard from the 5-year-old kid with autism that does not exist. We never heard from his non-existent family. All we got to hear was the Somalian story, and I don't believe anything that guy says. So I would have liked to have heard more from Shiloh. But one of my main takeaways is how she didn't shoot down the people that were rallying around her. And it's just a much different response than what we saw with, for example, Austin Metcalf's dad. Now listen, a lot of people have had certain criticisms when it comes to Austin Metcalf's dad. And I fully understand where people are coming from. But I also understand where Jeff is coming from. And I don't think a lot of people really put themselves in his shoes. And I don't think a lot of people understand how delicate and how complicated of a situation it is. I think Jeff would like to do more and would like to say more. But Jeff still has to worry about his other kid. Jeff still has to worry about Austin's brother and what Austin's brother is going to have to go through in his remainder of time in high school and college and so forth. So I think Jeff has been biting his tongue for reasons like that. But one thing I will say is, you know, early on when everyone was trying to rally around Jeff and Austin Metcalf's family, when people were trying to have their back, Austin Metcalf's dad kind of came out and labeled some people as racist and stuff like that. And I think it put a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths, because a lot of people were just trying to back them up because they saw all of the racist hate that they were getting from portions of the black community. So people tried to rally around Jeff, and Jeff kind of pushed them away. And we're seeing the opposite reaction from Shiloh. Shiloh is accepting the love. And I think that if Jeff was more accepting of the people who had his back, I think he would have gotten even more support. But he kind of, denounced everyone that was trying to stand up for his son. And Shiloh didn't do that. Shiloh acted grateful that people came to her defense and stood with her. So I think that's a big difference between some of the reactions that we're seeing here. Austin Metcalf's family would have gotten so much more support if it wasn't for those, comments that came pretty early on from Jeff, basically calling people racist and stuff for supporting his son and standing up against all of the crazy idiots online that were spreading lies about his son. But Shiloh also touched on tribalism a little bit, and how we're going to have to stick together as a tribe. moving forward. And I think that's a good point. In fact, I want to just play a clip from her video where she talks about that real quick. But first, if you guys support the channel, if you support someone on this platform actually speaking the truth, consider liking the video, sharing the video, commenting, subscribing if you haven't already. And if you want to take your support one step further, you can always donate via Cash App or Super Thanks, and it's greatly appreciated and always needed, especially when talking about topics like this one that this platform does not like us talking about. But with that being said, let's roll this quick little clip, and then I'll be right back with more thoughts.
I also just want to say how proud I am of everybody and just showing what can happen if we tribe up and if we stick together and if we keep fighting back. Our future, our existence depends on standing up for ourselves and not backing down. And we just have to keep on going. There's no other option. I mean, what else are we going to do? You can't be afraid of words. Don't be afraid of the people who are so fragile to a word. I am just so thankful for you all. We are in the process of looking for a home. We have looked at some, getting out of the state and starting a new life. And I want to have a quiet life. I don't plan on, being an influencer. I don't plan on doing interviews. Like, that's just not something that I would ever want to do. It's not on my agenda. So maybe someday, but I don't foresee it happening anytime soon. We're all doing okay. We've been moving around a lot. It's been an adventure. It's fun to see new places and, been kind of an outlaw. Again, I just want to say that I am so grateful for all of my supporters and all of my people who have been with me through all of this.
When it comes to tribalism and white people kind of sticking together and being more tribal, it's a concept that's difficult for a lot of people. Even myself. Because I feel like most white people, we don't view ourselves as part of a bigger white community, right? Like, I view myself as a lone wolf. I don't know about you all. I'm not a part of any group. I don't consider myself a part of either political party. I'm just a guy doing my own thing, marching to the beat of my own drum, living my own life, following my own path. I have my own thoughts, my own opinions. Sometimes they align with people over here. Sometimes they align with people over there. I just call things how I see it, right? So I think for a lot of us white people, we have a hard time thinking about being more tribal. Because when we think of community, we think of, oh, this is our community here in this neighborhood. Maybe this is our community here in this town. Maybe this is our community here on this college campus or something like that. We don't think of our community as a racial thing. But we're the only group of people in the world that don't look at other white people as part of a larger white community. The black community, they view themselves as one large community, and a lot of them act tribal in nature. The Latino community is the same, the Indian, the Middle Eastern, the Sikh community, all of these different communities, they're all grouped up in different races, and they view each other as a community based on race and color of their skin and what have you. White people are the only group of people on planet Earth that don't do that. And I would rather not have to do that, because I thought that we were supposed to be moving into a future where color and race didn't matter as much and everyone viewed people as equals. But apparently I was fed an imaginary tale, because I went through a lot of my life viewing life that way, and then I had to realize the hard way that all of these other groups or communities of people around us were not viewing life that way. These other groups and communities were clicking up, and they were treating each other by race, like, okay, you're part of this community. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm a black dude over here and you're a black dude over there, we got some type of secret bond and connection because we're part of the same community. White people don't view other white people in that way. You could have a sea full of every race you could think of and have two white people there. The two white people there won't bond and connect over race or skin color. So I think a lot of us went through life not viewing things that way. And we've watched as all of these other groups in America have become more and more tribal in nature. And now white people are starting to think, well, I mean, if this is the direction we're moving in, then hey, we got to do the same thing. So I think a lot of people are going to have a hard time coming to that realization. I'm having a hard time coming to that realization myself. That, you know, at some point, it doesn't matter if you want it to be that way. That's just how things are. And it feels like in this country, at least, it feels like this in other countries as well, that we're being forced into a corner to where, yeah, we're going to have to stick up for ourselves as a group, and we're going to have to get more tribal going forward. It feels like we're being forced to think that way and be that way, regardless if we want to be or not. So some people are going to have to realize on their own time. I think people who live more sheltered lives, it's going to be harder for them to come to this realization. Those of us who have been around the block a few times, we see what's going on. And I see just the differences over the last 10, 15 years. It's just gotten really crazy out there. And at some point in time, even if we don't want to, we may have to become more tribal like all of these other groups of people. I mean, the black community, for example, they stick up for their own regard. Oh, you stabbed a kid at the track meet? We're going to back you up. Oh, what, you ran over an innocent police officer? We're going to back you up. They'll back up their own kind regardless of what they do. I'm not saying that we should start doing that, but we do have to start sticking together, especially if we're noticing that every other group of people, and there's many different groups in this country, are all sticking together as well. So I don't know. It's just something for people to think about. But for now, you guys let me know what you think of that down in the comments below. While you're down there, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe, ring that notification bell, and I'll talk to you all very soon in the next video.